Now, this video is going to be pretty brief. I'm going to try to make it brief. We're going to talk about why I chose to do airlift, how it's helped me. I want to talk about who I think airlift is for, and maybe mention a few pros and cons of the system toward the end of the video, and then be about our way. So, why I chose to get airlift. I chose to get airlift because I was making my car physically lower. I got a different aftermarket bumper and I got a GT350 rear valence, so altogether it's about 2 to 3 inches lower and about 5 inches longer toward the front at least. And on my springs, I was just scraping everywhere. Now, what it does for me is it allows me to basically go over things like bumps, dips, steep driveways, all these sort of things that normally you would scrape on. But now, at the touch of a button, I no longer scrape on those things. So it's been really helpful in that sense. Now, I'm a show guy. I'm not so much a hard performance driving race type guy. I am mostly all about the shows. So I like my car to look good. I like it to be clean. And now with the airlift system, now I can actually even look low and slam to the ground. And it looks good. Bags aren't for everybody. If you're having issues where you don't want to, but if you're having issues where you're scraping on everything, then you might want to consider bags. But if you're the type of person who wants to race their car and like really push it hard, bags are still going to work, but you're just adding more stuff. The entire system consists of your tank. In my case, I have a 5-gallon tank. It consists of your compressor. Some people can choose to get 2 compressors depending on what they want. Some air lines, and of course the struts and the bellows themselves. And that's pretty much the entire system. Oh, and your air management system too. That's got to go somewhere close to the compressor and the tank. So it's not that many pieces, but you're adding stuff to the car. And so, things that I've noticed, you get a creak here or a rattle there, a little clunk here and there too. And those are just things that you add to the car when you do things like this too. When you modify any car, you kind of get that sort of new thing, like new little sound here and there. But in terms of cons, some of the things that I don't like about the airlift system, and I think really the biggest thing that I don't like, is that the air tank takes up pretty much half my trunk. So I can still use some of my trunk, but I have to be careful about what I put in there, because if something that I put in there grips onto one of the lines and it tears it up, then my system is done and I have to either get a new line or potentially get a new tank. And that's kind of scary to think about sometimes, especially because I do a lot of car shows, so I throw a lot of chairs in the back, tripod, sometimes a cooler, and just thinking that if I brake a little bit hard and something moves and hits the tank and the line could come off and that messes up my entire ride, like it's potentially dangerous, and that's something that I really don't like about it. Another thing that I don't like, and this might be because I don't have the isolator on the air compressor, but the other thing I don't like is just simply that the air compressor is really loud. And it's just very annoying and obnoxious, and it kind of bothers my ear sometimes after, a long just drive or something. Now, it's not always on, I do have to mention that it's not always on, but while your air tank needs to get up to its max PSI, it's on. And right when it gets to 150 PSI, then it turns off. But still, the entire process of filling up that air tank with the compressor being on is obnoxious. Other than that, there's really not too much else I want to talk about, or I feel like I have to talk about in terms of airlift. I think it's a good system for those who want a stance car at the shows, or the flexibility to adjust your ride height on the fly. I think if you're doing a lot more serious performance driving, maybe airlift might not be the way to go, or just air ride suspension in general might not be the best way to go. But take a ride in both, see what you like, and make your decision based on that. I'm personally happy with airlift. For what I wanted, it definitely fits the bill. So yeah, guys, that's it. That's my video on airlift. We can talk about more stuff later in another video if you guys like. If you like what we're doing, go ahead and feel free to like and subscribe, leave a comment down below, feedback is always appreciated. And other than that, I hope you guys have a good start to your week and a great rest of your week as well.